Good evening, Leroy. Welcome from the Pressbox.
Hello, hello. How are you? Oh, you are loud. Hold on. There we go. I'm back on computer.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
I
we've made it 10 seconds in. You're already complaining about audio quality. What is this? We didn't complain. Myself and our listeners did not complain once about any of the audio issues you had over these last couple of weeks.
You complained every weekend.
I don't know what you're talking about. Paul Reeves never once said anything remotely negative to you. Negativity, that is not Paul Reeves towards you at all. I don't know what you're talking about. How you doing?
Ridiculous.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. We're ramping up, and you know how this is. We're ramping up for football season, which means final checks on equipment, final checks on sponsors, things like that. And then my wonderful boss, who will remain nameless, but
he's not watching.
So this man has not called a sports event in probably 15 years, honestly. He then proceeded to send an email to all of us today saying, hey, make sure you head over and cover a practice and talk to your coach about things you should be looking for this season.
It's a great idea, Leroy. Did you ever think of that?
You know what?
Have you considered about things that you might want to look for the year? I mean, it's a great idea.
Do you know anybody on the starting lineup for your Bengals team this year? Do you know anybody on the lineup at all this year for the?
I mean, I can only name you probably the 53 guys that are going to make the roster, but that's just me. So Grayson County actually is their first scrimmage on Friday.
Yeah.
But it's weird how they're doing it. Is they're doing a multi-team scrimmage, and it's the first time I've ever experienced this. So what they're doing is that there are 6 teams that are going to be at this scrimmage.
Okay.
And supposedly what they're going to be doing is they're going to do something like, and for one, what is your wife doing? Just liking us, not hitting us with a heart react? What a jerk. I can see here 1 like pops up. My goodness. Gosh. So what they're doing is they're playing 10 plays offense, 10 plays defense, and then rotating teams. So I'm just really interested in how this is going to work. I know it's a thing because it's done across the state, but I've never actually seen it happening. To me, though, it just sounds like...
Are you intrigued?
Yes. I'm like, how does this work? Like, is this really going to work out? But, so the Cougs will be in action on Friday. And then they have a scrimmage next Friday. That one's a little bit more real, where they play pretty much a real game. And then 2 weeks is the Tobacco Bowl, Grayson County, Edmonson County. Christy, I can see that there's a like. I was just giving you crap that you just liked it instead of... Her phone was in her shirt.
Oh, it's her boobs said hi.
Just said like.
Her boobs said like, not heart.
Yeah,
there you go.
Not heart. Okay, well, that's... Okay. Okay, that's where we're headed here today. But yeah, good luck talking to the football coaches, because I know you didn't think about that.
Right. And you know how great of a relationship I have already.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm lucky. But our football coach and I are... We have a good relationship for the most part. At least I hope so. He could drop a comment right now and be like, really?
And we do too. I just don't think... I think we have a great relationship when there's not a microphone and audio rolling. I think we have a much better relationship when there's no cameras anywhere.
And see, I'm lucky that our football coach, Coach Brian Jones, he is of the understanding that we are a benefit, not a nuisance. Which our prior coach didn't necessarily see that aspect. And I know we've talked about this, before, just me and you, where Coach Jones, Brian, he understands that I'm never going to ask him a question that he doesn't know the answer to, and I'm never going to intentionally put him in an awkward position.
Right. I'm not going to be like, hey, when you guys are down by 7, what's the play you're going to run?
Or I'm never going to be like, man, Coach, Billy really sucked tonight, didn't he? Like, I'm not I'm not going to do that. Now, there have been one or two times where we've come off air, and I know you've told me this too, where a coach has taken the headset off and been like, man, Billy played like
So and so
tonight.
sucked
Yes,
tonight.
yes. And I love those too, because it's like, oh, coach, we weren't off air now. We were still on air. Oh, but no, I'm ready to get football back, because I think for both of you, the summer where we don't have that, these job becomes very monotonous.
It's just a lot of
the same thing.
Yes, it's a lot of ribbon cuttings. It's a lot of state. It's a lot of county fairs. It's a lot of going and talking to the same people about
the same thing.
Oh, what carnival food do you have this year? Blah blah blah. And I'm in my 5th year of being here, as I know you are in your 6th year of being there, and
this is
seventh year of being there.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things.
I'm an old man.
It's just one of those things where, like, you do it enough times where you can do it in your sleep. Although I will appreciate that whenever my new guys come into my office and say, Leroy, you were right about so and so. Yeah, I've been doing this now for 5. I know exactly what's going to happen before it happens.
We'll see. Yeah, Caleb does. Of course, Caleb gets excited about some carnival food every year. Of course he does. Of course he does. For me, though, Leroy, it set in, and I'm not sure it's exactly right, but today was the first day of school here. Yeah, Chase, 7 years. Today was the first day of school here in Grayson County. I don't know when they start up there.
I'm amazed. We start the 16th, I think. I'm just amazed at how early you all start. And I live there. I know how early you guys start.
But because of that, you saw all the first day of school pictures, and I know it'll happen up there. But it hit me today that I'm pretty sure that when the senior class, that is now seniors, when they started school, like when they were in kindergarten, it hit me. I was in high school. And now I'm like, oh, God. Like, I was almost their age when they started school. I'm like,
you need to take a dorky. You need to take a dorky picture in front of your front door.
On the first football game.
Yeah, like
year 7.
This is year 7.
Year 7. Here are K105 crew members. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I want to talk a little bit about the Olympics, but first, I think the biggest news of the week that we have to talk about, Leroy, is something that we really haven't talked about, and I'm fascinated on really what your opinion is.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it, but I don't know what your opinion is, and it is that next season, the Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves will play a baseball game at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Listen.
I'm just going to open the floor to you because I have my opinion. I think I know your opinion, but I'm going to let you have it.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I am so excited for this. I think
that's what I was thinking your opinion was going to be.
I think this is going to be a great deal, not just for baseball, but this is a way to get more fans involved in the sport. And the reason I say that is,
wait,
you know, it was great.
Sorry, really? London's in kindergarten?
Yeah.
God. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Go on. Okay.
What's great about this is when we play the show, what is one stadium we love playing at?
The Polo Grounds?
Correct. We love playing at the Polo Grounds because in our idiotic heads, we think that somehow we're going to hit a home run 700 feet out to center field. It never happens, but we always go in there thinking that we're going to. This is a perfect opportunity for us to have that situation where you have 900 feet out towards center field, 700 feet out towards center field. If you set up that, and I've seen a few layouts for how the field is going to be. Now, I will say that baseball prefers when temporary fields are set up for from first to second to go east to northeast. So I'm interested to see how they do that if they stick to that at Bristol. But there is plenty of room there for a field, and you can really set up some very, very cool dimensions with that infield and with the way that you do it. I'm excited. I think this is going to be great. If money wasn't an option, I'd be first in line to get a ticket for this wonderful, wonderful event.
See, here's the thing. Like, Bristol Hole is what, like 150,000 people?
Quite a few. And they've held football there.
I can't imagine the tickets are going to be that outrageous.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't gone on sale yet, but I can't imagine
No.
that they're going to be that doing. And I'm interested too, like Caleb said, Minute Maid Park used to have the hill in center field. Will there be hills on the turns and so on? I don't imagine that because that's just a recipe for injury. 150,000.
Bristol can hold 146,000. At its peak, could hold 160,000.
But then again, you got to think: are they going to do in temporary bleachers and so on?
If they bring in temporary seats, if they bring in all that kind of stuff,
so
but
150,000.
This is such a great marketing idea from baseball. It's the first really good marketing idea they've had since they started up their Field of Dreams games. And
the civil rights game this year was cool.
Yes, you're right. But I am
Paul hope you're feeling better, Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
Might have to bail.
Thanks for stopping by, though. We appreciate it. I'm just really, really excited because, again, this is a very good opportunity for two groups of people to really merge together to come, because baseball people will go. Reds fans will absolutely go. Braves fans will 100% go. Plus, you're in a new market. Bristol, for those of you who don't know where Bristol is in the eastern corner of Tennessee, right by North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. I think it's like an hour within all of those as far as
it's pretty much in Virginia.
Correct. And so guess what? This also opens up a whole area as far as Charlotte. Think about it. Charlotte really wants a team really, really bad. Nashville really wants a team really, really bad. If this sells out, and I have a really good feeling it will, that's going to increase the odds that cities like Charlotte, cities like Nashville are going to say, hey, look, this was an exhibition game, and look how well it did.
Well, it's not going to be exhibition. It's going to be a real game.
No, I just meant in
a one-off thing or a series or something.
Yeah, in a location that's not a normal location.
The best part about the location for this is that I got a couple of feelings with this game too. Is that for one, you're perfect. You're almost perfect in between Cincinnati and Atlanta. It's pretty close that you're going to get the pull through that.
Virginia's massive.
It is a very big state. I mean, the first thing I saw when I saw it is I said, I'm going. Like 100%, I am going to do whatever it takes to go, because that's one of those things that you can't, like, I would have loved to have gone to the Field of Dreams game, but I realized that was not realistic because they only had however many people there, 2,000 or whatever.
Limited seats.
That was not
ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, 150,000, even if it's $50 a pop, I am like, there is going to be a way for me to go. From here, it's like 5.5 hours. That is very doable. But like we're
going
next year. Oh, I'm going. If you want to come, yeah, for 100%. Like I'm going to do whatever it takes to go. I don't know if she's not watching anymore. She watches for the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, then she doesn't care in the middle. So that's usually how it goes. But you mentioned the marketing aspect, and I think that's huge. Is baseball needs to do whatever they can to market to new areas. And this is an aspect to try and market to a new area. And it might be one of these things that when they do it, oh, she is still here. I'll be darned. Is Leroy allowed to go to Bristol next year, Christy? That's his question.
But again, and I think, listen, if this is a success in Bristol, think about the possibilities that you have. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you could easily do a game at IMS. You could easily do a game at Daytona, easily do a game at Talladega. Think about the possibilities.
I don't think you could.
No?
I think they're too big. I think Bristol's the perfect size because it is Bristol is a big football stadium.
Yeah.
Daytona and Indy are
massive.
Indy is a small city.
Yeah, Indianapolis Motor Speedway can hold 400,000 people.
Yeah, so I don't know that it would work there, but I think this is one of these things that if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah. So Paul says Bristol is 6 hours from his house. Paul, will you go? I'm interested into whether he would go too. And Christy, so the Reds and the Braves next year, they are going to play a game at Bristol Motor Speedway.
A baseball game.
We don't know what date it is yet. I know that the series are scheduled. The Reds are supposed to go to Atlanta in early May, maybe, and then early August are the other two
Will
series.
you be
I think
mad
it is.
if you lose a home series because of that?
Not really. See, that's what I'm interested in. Is it going to be a 1-game thing, or is it going to be a 3-game set? And I think it'd be a 1-game thing, don't you think?
If you're doing all that prep,
But
I
then do
don't.
you think I think they could sell it out once, but do you think they could sell it out 3 times?
Braves fans travel pretty well.
Reds fans do too. I mean, the
Yeah,
Reds have a
I
passionate
think
fan base.
I think you do all right to sell all 3 games. I really do. Now again, it's baseball, right? They could easily say, "Hey, we're doing 1 in Cincy, and then we're doing 1 in Bristol, and then 2 in Cincy, or whatever." Is it a 3-game set or a 4-game set?
The one in Cincinnati is 3, and maybe the one in Atlanta is 4.
Yeah, Paul. Thanks, TBS. I literally, yep, TBS, 100%.
Yeah, and I don't know as far as when. So this will be officially announced on Friday. What I'm looking forward to is you would imagine on Friday they're going to have some semblance of a schematic where they're going to be able to say how this is going to work. And because I've been trying to picture it, and I've seen some people have tried to do some renditions. I've seen that, but even then, you see some of those layouts, and you're like, okay, but what about this? Like, okay, what about that? So I'm just interested I want to see the plan. Like, are they going to go polo grounds? Like, are they just going to say, like, let's roll and let's just do it as far as we can?
700 center field.
And sorry, center fielders.
You're running.
Like, yep, you're just going to do that. That's a great question, Christy, and that's what we're going to find out on Friday. But the biggest thing...
They have done a football game
there
at Bristol, and it worked really, really well. So it would not be entirely ridiculous to do baseball there. Although, again, this has never been done before. This is going to be the first time.
Yeah. I saw the most common thing I saw, and it is something about baseball fans. You're on the young side of this, Leroy, but really, for the most part, older than you.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And really, I think it's primarily baseball fans. Other sports have groups of these, but baseball fans, it's like once you hit a certain age, you turn into I have to yell at the clouds. And it's that age of the baseball purists. Oh, well, it's not a baseball stadium. Why are we going to play in that? So the question was, so Chase says he thinks football could work at Daytona. Indy, he doesn't think.
Yeah, you know what? The more I say that, tracks like St. Louis, WWT, smaller tracks like Bristol would work way better than the big massive tracks.
Is WWT too skinny?
No, it's there's plenty of room in that infield.
Okay. But what I kept seeing was, why would they do it? And I responded to somebody, why not?
Again, because they can. And because, listen, like I said, I already listed the reasons why this is a good deal for baseball.
It's just like NASCAR doing the race at the Coliseum.
Correct.
NASCAR fans don't want that. But the average fan might be like, they're doing what? At the what? Okay.
But if you get 500 new people watching, guess what? You won. And you won. 500. That's it. You won.
Chase and Leroy, you are our NASCAR experts. Chase especially is our NASCAR expert. I know, Leroy, you're more of our IndyCar expert. I would imagine that the average NASCAR fan that is not a baseball fan, because that is a percentage of NASCAR drivers, you would imagine, or NASCAR fans, I would imagine their percentage of this will watch this game when they will not watch a single baseball game the rest of the season. Is that a fair statement?
For me, it is. I would imagine.
And Chase, although, NASCAR fans better than I do.
Most NASCAR fans, for the most part, are baseball fans.
But there will be a percentage. Like, let's just say of the 100% of NASCAR fans, let's just say 40% are not baseball fans.
Yeah.
I think out of that 40%, I think you'll get a decent percentage because Bristol is one of the palaces. Because I think it's got to be Bristol, too. Like, if this was at Iowa or Kansas or something, like, I don't think it would have the same.
Because you're doing it in an area where there is a lot of minor league baseball, but not a lot of there's not a lot of Major League right there. It's a big hole because you've got Baltimore, Philly, the Nationals, the Reds,
Braves.
They're all right in that little area right there. So you could get a ton of fans. Yeah, I'm with Paul on that one.
Mm-hmm.
When I think NASCAR, I think Braves fans.
Mm-hmm. You think hillbillies, right?
Well, I don't know necessarily if it's hillbillies. I mean, again, like Paul said, TBS and Greg Maddux are the big reason why I'm a Braves fan.
Yeah, Chase says, especially if the game is in the May window, have the game on Fox, let it happen where both the races at the time and the games are on the same family of networks, have both sides market the heck out of it. I think he's right.
100%.
I think he's exactly right on that. You're trying to bring baseball fans to NASCAR and NASCAR fans to baseball, trying to cross.
Correct.
And see what you can't do with
that. And saying, look, if you like this game, check out what else we do at this track.
Speaking of racing as well, I've found, and I found this, I think, last Olympics, but it is one of my favorite Olympic sports. Have you watched any of the cycling in the indoor track?
Love it.
Leroy at the Olympics?
Love it. You know what?
It's so much fun because they go so fast.
You want to hear a really dorky thing?
I mean, isn't that what this podcast is?
On Xbox 360 for the games, went on Olympic Games, I would get it every year. For a while, I was number 5 in the world for best time that played it for indoor cycling. Love it. And I was really, really good at it on whatever year. I'm trying to think of
2012, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, it's fantastic. Loved it, man.
And Paul brings up the next point that I was going to make: the pole vaulting.
Hey, listen, the best joke about that is that imagine being a pole vaulter and clearing the pole. Great job, but everyone will say, "Oh, you must be small."
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't even medal though, Leroy. Couldn't even medal. You're 4th.
Out of 4,000, 5,000 people, I'll take finishing number 5.
No one remembers who's 5th though. They only remember who's 1st through 3rd.
Yeah.
I just like it though that guy. Was there a more popular person at the Olympic Village that night?
No. Bro was walking around being like, "Hey, I didn't win, but how you doing?"
Yeah, I got it going on. The pole. I'll tell you though, pole vaulting. Did you watch any of the, or did you just see that clip? Because I watched the final. So the guy from Sweden, who is actually American, so his mom is Swedish, his dad is American, and he grew up in Louisiana or something like that. So he pole vaults for Sweden. The dude is freaking incredible.
Okay.
I love you see all of these people, they're like running through and they're doing, I forget what his time, I think it was over 20 feet, I think is what he did. So you got to think double the height of a basketball goal.
Yep.
He's pole vaulting. And you see these guys that are doing it, world-class athletes go up there and hit the pole. They're doing that, not just with other aspects, but hit the pole with their knee or other things. And then you get this guy who goes up there and he just clears it. Like it makes it look so easy, but it was incredible watching this guy, and he ended up breaking the world record. It is amazing. Chase says, I watched a ping pong semifinal match between Japan and Sweden.
Amazing.
And that was electric. I love the small sports. But like the cycling is so much fun. Pole vaulting is so much fun. What else have I been watching? Oh, the best though. And I keep saying the best. Did you see the speed climbing?
No, I went speed walking, which is hysterical.
Speed climbing.
Okay.
So like a rock wall that you would see at amusement park.
Fastest up it wins.
Yes. You'll have to, in fact, Google it right now and see if you can find the video of the lady who won the gold medal. I think it took her 6 seconds. So it's a quick video. It is the wildest thing I've ever seen, because she literally, it looks like, so she's on, how you're on like the pulley and you're on the rope, you're tied to it.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody is on the other side, just like pulling it and pulling her up It's like she's barely even touching the thing. Have you
No
found a
one's
video of it?
no one's pulling her up, or no one's pulling him up.
No one is pulling her up or anything. I'm gonna see if I can even find a video to send it to you here. It is wild with it. I didn't watch this, but I saw the clip of.
I got it. Give me a second. Alexandra Miroslav flies to speed climbing gold by 0.08 seconds. Give me a second.
Okay, and here's even a men's one as well. I saw a women's one. Okay, I think I saw your thing here. Okay.
Holy cow.
Are you watching this?
Yes.
It is unbelievable.
She looks like a spider monkey, man.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the clip, though, that I'm...
seconds.
Okay, this is exactly the one that I saw. The lady in the white?
Yeah.
Miroslav.
It's
I'm an American. It's Slaw.
Sure. Hold on. The phone's driving me nuts.
It's 9:30 at night. Who is calling you at 9:30 at night?
It's the spam call.
If you all notice, though, not once does my phone ever ring during the podcast. Because I actually am dedicated to our listeners, unlike some people. I'm sorry for his, I don't even know what to describe it. It's something. But what have you enjoyed watching at the Olympics as well? Paul, I know you say you're not a huge Olympics fan, but have you watched any of it? Chase, I know you will watch a little bit more of it. I've just enjoyed the Gold Zone has been what I've watched the most as well, and just letting it whip around and watching a little bit of everything. How does it go again?
I'm not doing it again.
It's the pole vaulting committee calling Leroy to audition. That is the one sport, though, that, like, I was thinking about this, and, like, we talked about the hardest sport being water polo. And I agree that would be really hard. But here's the thing. We could do it. Like, we would not be good.
Yeah.
But we could at least get in the pool and attempt it. We would get our absolute, we'd get destroyed. Pole vaulting.
I love rock climbing. I could get to the top. It would just take me forever.
45 seconds, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
But pole vaulting, I even asked this question to somebody earlier this week. Could you, in all seriousness, take the bar away? Like, there's no bar. Could you plant it and just lift yourself into the air? Do you think you'd be able to do that?
I weigh like 200 pounds. Absolutely not. 10 years ago, maybe.
I just and then when you think about it, double the height of a basketball goal.
Now, there's a kid on our basketball program, the boys basketball here in Taylorville, who does pole vaulting, and he jokes with me. He goes, "Leroy, every time I go up there, I think I'm going to absolutely just get that pole right in my chest. I have no idea how I get up in the air on it."
It is so wild. Yeah, Paul says he could plant it and get my body off the ground, but that's all. I just don't think I could. And that's why, to me, it's like badminton. Like, I would get annihilated in a badminton match, but I could at least serve it and do something. Handball, though, is the one that I feel like I could actually do.
You could do handball?
Like, if there's one that I'd at least have some semblance of a chance, that's the only one.
Yeah.
Is
that the one with the big goal? Like, it's like soccer, but which
with
is the
hands.
One that's, huh?
It's like soccer with your hands.
Yeah.
Hockey with your hands. It's water polo on that's not in the water.
Right. Yeah. Love it.
What else have you your take? Oh, we got to talk about the 100-meter dash. Noah Lyles.
Yeah, that was on my list of what actually counts as across the line first. The shoe, the knee,
it's your first thing. But we also got to mention too is, for us, since this is a broadcasting podcast, your boy, he had some heat.
But he came back the next day, and he came back the next day and was, listen, that's what professional as well as I do. You know as well as I do. We all make bad calls sometimes. And listen, there's been some IndyCar calls that he has made where I've just been like, "Ooh, Lee, ooh, that was not a good." But you know what? The reason that these guys are so good is they wake up the next morning and guess what? They're right back on form. And Lee, God bless him, he jumped right into the pool and was fantastic. But yeah, that was a pretty
if
bad
you don't
picture.
know what we're talking about, is in the 100-meter dash, it was a bang bang finish, and he called and said, "Oh, it's the Jamaican, right? The Jamaican one."
Yeah.
And he called it in with, and like certainty, he said it in there, and I even thought, I was like, "Ooh."
I don't think he did.
I was like, I don't know, and it's one of those that I'm thinking like, that's just where you say, "Oh, it's too close to call. It's too close to call. Who knows?" And then you can build it up there. But
Chase, I don't think any of us are hating on Lee.
No, it's not.
It's more of just, and we all admit
it's a good lesson for us.
Yeah, Sam and I both have made calls where we both have just been like, "Ooh," in our heads we'll be like, "That was awful."
I've never made a bad call in my life.
You are full of crap.
I am the best broadcaster K105 Digital Productions has ever had
in the last 7 years.
No, I'm the only broadcaster K105 Digital Productions I've ever had. I guess Chase technically would be on there as well. He's done a game. Zach has done a game. So there've been like 3 other people total who have broadcast a game.
Yeah, I love Lee Diffie, man.
Any other Olympic takeaways that you have?
What did I have on here as far as Olympic stuff? I think that was it. If there's anything else in my tidbits, I'll bring it up later. But I think that was the big stuff.
Other big news from the week as well.
Chase says disagree. He did one.
I did. I put it up. I put it up on the screen. He did 3. So he did 3 basketball play-by-play games. He did. The White Sox.
Yeah, we have to talk about the White Sox. We have to. They've won 1 game since the All-Star break.
One more game than you've won.
Really? You're sticking up for the White Sox here? Oh, okay. I've got
okay. You are a massive Cubs fan, and the White Sox are a rival. And I mentioned this, and I don't know if I said it to you or when it was, but Louisville last year in men's basketball was awful the last 2 years. And I said that it is bad, and it makes me almost hate them more when I start feeling bad for my rival. Have you reached that point
Not yet.
For the White Sox? Because I got to the point where I was almost getting angry at Louisville for sucking so bad that I started to feel bad for them.
I'll tell you why I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'll tell you why we haven't gotten to that point yet. Because 3 years ago, these guys were in the playoffs, and they had a swagger like you would not believe. And all we heard in Chicago was, this is the team to beat for the next decade. The next decade is going to be White Sox baseball. So no, I have no. I'm still enjoying this. But listen, you know, Cubs fans consider the Cardinals more of a rival than the White Sox.
Yeah,
I would imagine you guys consider the Pirates more of a rival than the Indians.
The who?
The Guardians. Sorry,
you racist. Do I need to ask you about boxers now?
Shut up. All right, so let's talk about this. We got to talk about this. They've lost 21 of the last 22 games, including losing today. Nearly 3/4 of the way into the season, the numbers are staggering. 241 winning percentage. Chicago is on pace for 123 losses, a 28-88 record that is already 41 games behind the first-place Guardians in the AL Central, negative 247 runs. Negative 247 run differential, 70 runs worse than the closest team. To go 43 and 119 to avoid matching the 1962 Mets loss record, the White Sox need to go 15 and 31 the rest of the way. I don't know if they can do that.
No.
I don't know if they can do that. The Mets hold the modern day loss record. Let's talk about the all-time loss record, including the
How about Chase's stat here? They can win every game the rest of the season and still would finish 11 games under 500.
The Cleveland Spiders finished with a record of they lost 134. They lost 134 games. White Sox would have to lose every remaining game, which they already lost today. They'd have to lose every remaining game of the season to get that mark. The lowest single season winning percentage, which is currently .235 by the 1916 Philadelphia Athletics, went 36-117 with a tie. The White Sox are currently 241. So the record's 235. They're 241.
That's doable.
They can definitely get there. The win total to watch is 39. If Chicago can get 39 wins, it avoids that record. If it ends up with 38 wins or less, it lessens Connie Mack's historical burden by one large item. And according to the simulations, the White Sox have a 14% chance at 38 or fewer wins. I'm telling you, if you go to IMDb, or not IMDb, good grief. If you go to Baseball Reference and look at their stats, it's so bad. It's so bad. And that poor video, who was just traded to them from the Dodgers?
I saw the video of him in the bullpen. Video?
That man looks like he's been to combat and has the 5,000-yard stare from PTSD. He looked shell-shocked. And I'm just...
He was contemplating retirement.
Yeah. I still think they should fire Pedro right now. I know we've talked about this and whether or not they should keep him the rest of the year, but listen, that man, no one's listening to him now anyway.
How many White Sox can you name right now, Leroy?
I mean, Kopech. I know Pham was just traded.
Konerko?
Shut up.
Burley? Wise?
But I mean,
Brzezinski?
This is a bunch of no-name kids. And the thing is even if they finish with the worst record, the best they can get in the draft is 10th. The best they can get in the draft is 10th. And baseball drafts don't work like any other sport. Because baseball is the one sport where it doesn't matter who you draft. I mean, it does, but
unless it's Paul Skeens.
Right. Skeens and maybe four other guys are the exception to that rule.
Bryce Harper, there have been a few slam dunks.
But baseball just doesn't work that way. And I just don't see any, and they've been doing that. And those guys have been getting shellacked. They've called up 3 guys in the last 2 weeks. And I just don't see any direction that this team is going. This is horrible. I mean, and listen, Sam, I'm a Cubs fan. I've seen some awful Cubs teams. I lived in Michigan when the Tigers were really, really bad. I can't remember. And Paul, you've been watching baseball a little bit longer than I have. I can't remember a team that's played this bad. I watched the Cubs lose the first 14 games of the season. Sometimes there's a little bit of luck with this, right? A couple if a pitch would have gone here or a home run here. They haven't looked close. They just don't look like they belong on the same field as some of these other teams. It's like the Bears playing the Chiefs last year. They did not look like they belong on that field with that other team. And that's how the White Sox look for every single game. It doesn't matter who they're playing.
I still love my story from that Bears-Chiefs game that I know I told on this podcast. That was the day I was at my KBA conference. And I'd gone to the Reds game, and I had an event later that afternoon. So I came to the hotel room, checked in, flipped the game on. That was the one that was on, and it was whatever it was, 14-0, 7-0, or whatever. I took a shower, came out, and it was 40-0. And I was like, what the hell happened? I was like, it's not like it was
No. You got the freaking White Sox.
Wait.
There is no way.
My comment machine is broken. It
doesn't matter. It's not a real. It's not even.
You can hear me clicking, Leroy, and it doesn't want to put that comment on the screen.
That's a shame. Too bad. It's completely wrong.
You ready for a Who Am I?
I am, my friend.
Or did you have more that you wanted to talk about the White Sox?
We got tidbits, but you're good.
Yeah, usually we go Who Am I tidbits and then drop into because then that separates your favorite segments. Maybe this will be the week for Leroy's logos. Maybe it'll be the week. We don't know. And then NASCAR picks, too, do return this week because they head to Richmond. We only have, I think, 3 weeks left in our pick contest. I played 16 years in the NFL, Leroy. I played 16 years in the NFL.
16?
16 years in the NFL.
Okay.
I broke my high school's passing record, and it
Eli Manning.
stood until just recently. I broke my high school's passing record, and it held until just recently.
Drew Brees.
Incorrect.
Did he play for 16 years? God, he had to have played for quite a while.
It might be longer than 16, honestly, that I'm thinking about it. 20.
Wow.
20 years is how long he played. Phillip Rivers, not a bad guess, but that is incorrect. I finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting behind Jason White and Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh.
I finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting behind Jason White and Larry Fitzgerald.
Well, clearly the answer is Cam Newton.
No, Cam won the Heisman. It is not Sebastian Janikowski. He did not hold the high school passing record.
Hey, those kickers can throw.
I have the third most consecutive starts by a quarterback in NFL history. I have the third most consecutive starts by a quarterback in NFL history.
Matt Ryan.
No, but not a bad guess. I'll let the comment section catch up here a second. I am one of 6 players. It is not Brett Favre. That's not a bad guess, though. I am one of 6 players to be named Super Bowl MVP more than once. I am one of 6 players to be named Super Bowl MVP more than once. And you said it earlier, Leroy, in a joking manner, and Chase comes in with also the correct answer of Eli Manning. I wasn't going to give it to you in your joking one after one guess. I was like, I'm still going to read the clues. I was like, I'm not going to let you be a jerk and take it because I know that was not, I know that yours was not a real Eli Manning guess. So Eli Manning is the correct answer. The 6th clue was going to be my passing record in high school was broken by my nephew.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah. Is he or will he?
That's not what I asked. I said,
will he be a Hall of Famer? Yes. Should he be?
That's the question. Yeah. And I think,
see, that's the question.
If I grabbed 100 people, I think if I grabbed 100 football fans, I'd get 50 for and 50 against.
But see, and Paul brings it up here. He was, if we're being honest, an above average, and maybe that next tier up, above average. He was never elite. He was in between above average and elite. So maybe good. He was a good quarterback in the NFL for a long time, but he had 2 great runs. He had 2 great runs that ended with knocking out the best franchise the NFL has ever seen. The best dynasty run that the NFL has ever seen both times.
You know as well as I do, Super Bowls in the Hall of Fame absolutely matter.
And because if he would have only won one of those Super Bowls, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. But the fact that he got 2, both of them against the Patriots, both of them against Brady, makes me think that probably the answer is yes.
The Giants team, with the team that overperformed.
Yeah.
I mean, with the team that overperformed. Let's face it, on paper, the Patriots beat that team 7 out of 10 times.
Who the hell is this Blake guy? He's about to get banned if he comes up with more of this hogwash. But you do know that Next Saturday.
I know.
Bengals Bears preseason.
How many snaps is Burrow's getting?
Is who's getting? Is who's getting?
No, we put S's on the end of everything because I know it bothers you.
You're getting 5 seconds for that. You're getting 5 seconds for that. It's like hockey. You're being put in for 5 seconds. There you go. There's 5 seconds. This weekend he's playing. I'm interested as to how much he plays because no one really knows. It's just there's so much risk that goes into it. There's so much risk.
I know.
I don't know. Chase says, shout out to Mongo. Well deserved.
Yeah.
WCW legend.
Yeah.
Chase, I hope you know who Mongo is in the K105 family. I hope you know who that is. You might be able to figure it out. Jason, good luck. Cataract surgery in E-Town on Monday. Best of luck, man.
Devin Hester gave a really cool Hall of Fame speech, if you didn't get to hear it, where he said, I'm proud of this honor, but I'm the first, and I hope this opens up the door for many of the other kick returners that deserve to be here. It was nice to see him give praise to a lot of the other guys that were just as good as Devin was, but glad that Devin got in.
Good, Chase.
I don't think that anybody else. I think that Hester deserved it. There was nobody else that played like him, and he changed kickoffs. He changed the position. And when you change the position, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Willie Anderson should have gotten in before him, but that's just me. You got any tidbits?
Give you 5 seconds. All right, let's get to it.
Here's the fun thing is you can't.
I know.
I don't think you can't even mute me, can you?
No, gosh, no. The only way I can do it is if you leave, it's the only way I have control of stuff.
Okay, I was interested on that if that worked that way. So if I leave, you can end the stream?
Yep.
Okay. Let's briefly talk about
that was in my tidbits.
Was it? Okay, well let's
that's my tidbits.
Why don't you do this and let's talk about it. Why don't you make that your first tidbit?
So the Lions and Giants were both fined $200,000 for fighting. And I wanted to ask you whether or not, these joint practices have been more harm than good, I feel, as far as people getting hurt, people being just a little bit too aggressive. It's a practice, for good grief. And I wanted to, is this something where $200,000, does this mean a lot to the teams? Is this something where they're going to really crack down on their players? Or is this something where you kind of like to see a little bit of fighting?
So the Bengals and the Bears are doing a joint practice next week.
Great.
And that's that's going to happen. I think one of them is okay. You don't want to do two. I think one joint practice is okay because that's 2 hours and these guys can at least get over it in 2 hours. I can't tell how I feel about teams fighting their teammates.
Yeah.
Especially like Blake says here of someone's going to get hurt. And then, and I saw somebody and they were making a joke on social media and it was a joke, but at the same time, you're not wrong. The question was if I went in and tried to tackle one of my coworkers, I'd be in HR's office.
Yeah. An Appalachian State player was kicked off the team for taking off a defensive lineman's helmet and hitting him with it. Your own teammate. And
that's the thing there is nothing stupider to me. And I think we've talked about this on this show too, that in football fights, why do they punch the helmet? like
who is that Bears player that did that against the Saints? Like, like 5 years.
Now I'm remembering it. Yeah, and he got immediately released, didn't he?
Yeah,
he really whacked him.
I don't think he got on the flight back. I think they cut him in the locker room.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that now until you just said that. But that to me is who are you going to hurt? like you are just going to hurt yourself. The dude is wearing a helmet. Okay, go on to your tidbit. Finish up. We gotta get.
I do have an Olympic one. The Ireland is in 12th right now in the Olympic standings for medals. Roughly 1/3 of Ireland's population watched one of their athletes win the gold medal, which would be the equivalent of 114 million viewers in America. Jim Harbaugh will be suspended for 4 games if he goes back to college football for tampering with NIL stuff. Good job. UK football has been suspended from postseason play.
That is
that
is false. That is false. Huh? That is false.
Okay.
UK has not been suspended from postseason play.
Or were they suspended from then?
They had wins vacated.
Oh. It said that they had wins vacated and that they were being suspended from
postseason. No, they're not. They have no postseason ban. No postseason ban.
All right, I take that back. But what I do not take back is that the Reds were no-hit. Blake Snell no-hit the Cincinnati Reds. 13th time in franchise history, the Reds have been no-hit. Cubs take 2 out of 3 from the Twins. They've won 8 out of their last 12. They welcome the White Sox to town. That was for Chase. Sorry. Let's see what else we got. Brandon, Ayuk to the Steelers.
I hope the White Sox sweep you.
Ayuk to the Steelers. 49ers are asking for 2 number 1 picks. Patriots are out. Paul Skeens, Cy Young odds way up. Can Paul Skeens win the Cy Young this year, Sam?
Yes, but I'll tell you what, and this is not just me as the Reds. Got to keep an eye on Hunter Green. Hunter Green in his last 7 starts, I think, has an ERA of 0.5.
Crazy. Junko's Hollinger has parted ways with Agustin Canapino. If you remember our conversations before, Canapino was the Argentina driver who every time he got hit, his fans would send death threats to the other drivers.
No, I missed that.
Fun times.
So he's the Taylor Swift of IndyCar?
Yeah.
Oh, how about Chase here? Twins are in the wild card. Cubs are in the draft lottery.
We're like 4 games out.
Got him.
And you said earlier, Chase, that you got 3 teams in the postseason. Pretty sad when all of them are going to lose in the first round. Let's see what else we got.
Guardians might be able to do something.
IndyCar fans are frustrated over concerts, but Iowa reports the numbers are up over 20%. So IndyCar in Iowa, they decided to have concerts to bring more people in. Everyone threw a fit.
I hope you feel better, Paul. He's headed to bed. Head is killing him. Yeah, just message me your NASCAR pick before the race.
Feel better, Paul. Jackson Holliday becomes the youngest player in MLB history to homer in 3 straight games. He's batting 190. Home run or bust. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow and Kodiak Cakes are joining forces to fight food insecurity by donating nearly 30,000 meals to 3 separate school programs within Athens, Baton Rouge, and Cincinnati. Burrow, number 9, and Kodiak will donate 9,999 meals to each program. Very cool. Browns unveil a new $2.4 billion dome stadium. All these new stadiums look alike. All these new stadiums suck. They're awful. All right, I'm going to give you a name. You tell me whether or not this player is in the Hall of Fame next year. These are all next year's eligible Hall of Famers. All 12 of these are eligible for the Hall of Fame next year. Marshall Yanda? I don't know who that is.
He played for the Ravens. Oh, Vikings? I think he might have played for the Ravens, too.
Oh, no. Ravens. Sorry, Ravens.
I was going to say Ravens.
Yep.
Ravens, yeah.
Okay,
no.
Marshall Yanda?
No.
Ryan Khalil?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Aqib Talib?
No.
Vernon Davis?
Not immediately. He might be one of those guys in a couple of years.
Joe Staley?
I hope Willie Anderson gets in over him.
Terrell Suggs?
Probably.
Clay Shitty-Ass Matthews?
Yeah, I mean, there was that stretch where he was one of the best linebackers.
I hate him so much. Adam Vinatieri?
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, probably.
Earl Thomas?
Oh, gosh. See, I'd have to go back and look at his stats.
We already talked about Eli Manning and Luke Kuechly.
And see, it's all about longevity. He had a short career, but he's a Cincinnati guy, so I'll say yes.
All right, those are your 2025 notable Hall of Fame candidates.
Willie Anderson or bust?
Let's see, was that all of it? Oh, yeah, that was, that's all of my tidbits for you.
So it's time to cue the music for everyone's favorite segment.
Have you seen these stadiums, though? They all look the exact same. All of these stadiums look exactly the same.
Can you hear the music?
Loud. Now it's stopped.
That's weird. That's weird. It's coming through my laptop and not my headphones.
I hear it.
Interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Okay, Leroy, would you like door number 1, 2, or 3, or 4 here for Throwback Summer? Continues here. Oh, you are hitting 398. Maybe you'll get above 400, or maybe you'll do a clean sweep here this week. Which one would you like? 2 from 1979.
Yep, I got it.
1979. I don't like that I can't hear it. You can at least hear the music, though?
For what it's worth, I can hear the music just fine.
Here, I'm just going to do this so I can hear it through my laptop. So I at least feel better that way. Okay, do you have a guess here for this week's Leroy's Logo 1?
I'm guessing Rice.
Rice, final.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Did you hear correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
I didn't even hear that through the laptop screen. That is correct. It is the Rice Owls. Chase, he guessed FAU, so he was incorrect on that guess. Alrighty, 1, 3, or 4?
4.
4. Number 4. Number 4. Rice used to be in Conference USA, Chase, though.
Ooh. Oh, what year?
Between the 1960s and the 1990s. This is used for a long time.
I'm going to go Air Force.
Air Force. Why do you feel on Air Force?
I don't know. Something in the back of my head is saying Air Force. Eagles, aren't they? Falcons, Air Force Falcons. The Lightning Bolts. I don't know. I'm going with Air Force.
Air Force is your guess.
Yeah. Oh!
You are correct. It is Air Force. If you remember, their helmets right now have a lightning bolt on them. I left that little bit of a hint in there for you. 2 for 2. 1 or 3. Maybe it's Paul Reeves. It's been making you nervous. All of these, through 65 previous episodes. Maybe it's been Paul's fault that you've been making you feel nervous. Okay, 1 or 3?
I'll go 1.
1. 1. It's a small little guy. One. Do you need me to hold the paper up, or are you good?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Door number 1. You got any feel on this?
I'm going to go with Boston College.
Boston College. Final.
Yeah.
How confident?
85%.
Correct.
The colors.
Correct.
Colors.
Oh my
Here we go again. Here we go again.
I guess it's the second time in 3 weeks that it comes down.
Y'all need to understand, for those of you who don't know,
to one.
Leroy has come a long way on this program from when he did it back in college. It's been a long time coming.
One logo remains from history. From history. Are you ready? Well, you've already done 4, so how does 3 sound?
That's fine, yeah.
Number 3. This one is from 1929. This is your hardest one. You save the hardest for last. And this is challenging. Anything speaking to you here?
The University of Chicago had green and white. Is green and white, if I remember right. University of Chicago is. But Lake Huron would be on the border, on the side of Michigan.
If you do remember, I did tell you that when I did throwback logos, that they would all be major-ish schools. Like, they would all be FBS, or like last week I did Villanova. They're not technically an FBS school, but I count them in that realm because they have a big basketball program. You know, Xavier and so on. Yep. They would be in this.
Yeah.
So University of Chicago would not fit in that category.
Okay.
And that's your last hint that you're getting for this. Obviously, they're not known. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. I mean, obviously, they're not the Hurons anymore.
I'll go with Eastern Michigan.
Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
Is that going to be your final answer?
Yeah.
Your final answer is Eastern Michigan. Does this make you feel better or worse?
Oh, Michigan State.
Hey, Chase. You get this. Is Chase. And Leroy. It has finally happened. Miracles do happen. Miracles do happen. It is Eastern Michigan. Wow. I can't believe it just happened. And you do know it's Paul Reeves' fault, isn't it? You know,
he's gonna be so mad. The comment section all day tomorrow. You're gonna get notifications all day tomorrow.
Of the 65 previous Leroy's logos, what Paul has probably been involved in, 63 of them, 62 of them?
Yes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Leroy, you are now hitting 407.
Amazing.
Episode 66 is history. History. If I would have given you the opportunity to change to Michigan State, would you have, or would you have stuck with Eastern Michigan?
I think I would have stuck.
You would have?
No, I would have switched. I know I would have.
And you would be so mad at yourself.
I would have been so mad at myself. Yeah, I know me. I would have switched over. Michigan State, there was green. The green and made sense. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
what are they now? I should know because my cousin works for them. But where are they now?
And you're welcome for that. They are the Eagles.
That's right.
That's part of the reason why I gave that to you, because I knew that your cousin. So wow, history has been made on Leroy's logos.
Crazy.
History. You just need to send Paul a message right now that says history.
Suck it.
History. History made tonight. I mean, it
Great.
is. You know what? We'll see you next week. That's the show for this.
That's the show. We're done. We got nothing left for you. That was it.
I was gonna say, the crowd goes wild. And the best part is that our views are low today, and we have one viewer. It is just Chase. So only one person gets to witness history tonight.
I forgot to tell you in the tidbits, Illinois is putting out new uniforms against Michigan.
Saw those.
Have you seen them? They're awful looking. Chase, if you haven't seen them, go. I posted them on my Facebook. Go check them out. They are awful.
How about some play clock? Would you like to ask or answer?
I will ask first.
Okay, I'm ready.
The White Sox just played the Oakland Athletics in a 3-game series. And we were talking about it today at work. And so I asked you the question. Is there any game, and money and stuff like that wasn't an issue, if I gave you a free ticket for a game that you just would not attend? Is there any game that if I gave you a free ticket and parking was taken care of, all the transportation was taken care of, if I gave you a free ticket, would you not attend?
I mean, there's some, like a youth soccer game, maybe. High school soccer.
Professional though, like if the Steelers.
I mean, like, and see, that's the thing. That's what I was thinking. Is no, because I'd go and I would just be the world's biggest Packers fan that has ever lived.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Listen, I'd be wearing a cheese head, like Steelers Chiefs AFC Championship. That would be hard for me because I would. I mean, it was tough enough for me to do Ravens Chiefs.
Yeah.
But Steelers Chiefs.
I'm just thinking 7th inning of an A's White Sox game sounds horrible.
Yeah, I don't really know. The SEC is making rules now in football where college coaches are now going to, Chase says the Illini jerseys suck. You're right.
They do. 100%.
The SEC coaches are now going to be forced in football to give injury reports every single week.
Ooh.
Good thing or bad thing?
Do they have to be detailed? Because hockey does really crazy detailed, like weird detail, upper body, lower body stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. There's an element of secrecy when it comes to injury reports. And as long as they're telling as long as they're telling the truth, I mean, look, let's face it. If my quarterback isn't feeling well, I don't want to put that out there. I want them to prep for, my quarterback, or maybe I don't. Maybe I want them prepping for my backup quarterback. So I don't like that I have to be 100% complacent in my injury report.
It's all about the money.
How does that help? How does that help with money, though?
Gambling.
Oh.
Yeah, gambling. That's absolutely it. But as coming from a media member, you'd think you'd want to know. Because there's nothing more frustrating.
Media, yes. Leroy, as the media, loves the injury report. From a team standpoint, I would hate it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
From a team standpoint, they would not want that. All right. At a racetrack, the best seats are high up. So I ask you, where's the best place to sit at Great American Ballpark? And where is the best place to sit at the Jungle?
No, what's it called?
Nope, that's all you're getting. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't do that to me.
What was it? What did it used to be called? Soldier Field? Huh?
Shut up.
United Center? Wrigley Field?
It's a name. Joe Burrow Field.
No, that's Athens High School Stadium.
That's Athens High School. Oh, what is Paul Brown? Paul Brown?
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Paul Brown.
Paycor.
What is it now?
Paycor.
Paycor?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where are you sitting if you had
I like right now my seats at Paycor is I like being at football the upper deck. And part of that is because I'm so used to, when we call games and so on, we are usually in the upper deck. We have the bird's eye view and so on. And I like it too because for one, you can see the entire field, but you can also see the play develop, which it is. As far as Great American Ballpark, really for baseball, it's, in fact, speaking of that, I want to come back to baseball when we're done with this because there was something I meant to talk about earlier and completely forgot. There's really not a bad seat for baseball. I'm fine with really anything. I don't mind, like, if you're asking me to choose, like, behind home plate, upper deck is not a bad spot at all because you can see the ball fly and so on. But, like, press box level, can't beat it. Remind me to come back to baseball after this last question before we jump into NASCAR. GABP have stood at the bar under the power stacks a few times. Yeah, it's good view. Yeah.
Sam and I have sat in plenty of different spots, just he and I know you obviously you've gone to way more games there than I have, but Sam and I have sat in many different sections. And I tell you what, it's one of the few places where I've been where I've actually sat almost everywhere. And Sam's right. There really isn't a bad place to see the game. And I've told Sam before, one of my biggest things that I like about GABP is that I can get food, turn around, and still see what's going on the field. And there's not a lot of stadiums where you have that luxury. One of the biggest things that irritates me about Wrigley and St. Louis, to be honest with you, is that when you get food, you got to watch on a TV. The only way you can see is through a TV, where you really don't have to do that when you're going to get food at GABP.
Yeah. And also, GAP doesn't have random poles in the middle of their grandstands too.
You liked Wrigley, okay, there, buddy.
The game was awful that day that I went. The Cubs
was it bad?
The Cubs lost like 22-4.
Did they really?
Yes, it was 18-4 or something. Yeah. That and I didn't want to spend $35 for a beer. That's what it at least felt like. I saw it was probably 15. I saw this comment, I think, in the the NL Central Smack Talk, or what's the group called?
NL Central Smack Talk page.
You probably saw this question. You may have responded to it. Are you allowed to have a second favorite team?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I have a second favorite team. I don't necessarily. I don't know. I think people get too hung up on what other people like and what other people are doing, as far as who they like and who they don't like. I'm fine if I understand people that don't, but I'm fine with having a second. With if you told me that you liked, the Reds, the Twins, you ain't gonna bother me with that.
You have 10 seconds.
As long as it's not like
Cubs and Cardinals.
Cubs and the Cardinals, or Cubs. I saw this guy wearing a Cubs jersey and a Cardinals hat, and I wanted to punch him across the face. So as long as it's not like two teams that hate each other, I'm fine with it.
So my baseball thing that I haven't told you this. Friday, I got a text from a friend that, hey, can you be in Louisville tonight? I was like, well, what's
why?
Yes. They had an extra ticket.
Okay.
To see the Savannah Bananas play.
Oh.
So I got to see the Savannah Bananas play last Friday night. For one, I wish, since it was very last minute, I didn't get the opportunity to just dive in and like learn all the rules and little things. But here, my basic takeaways, and I almost need to bottle this up. I
want your review, yes.
Bottle this up and do more of it next week, because I'm sure Paul would like to hear it as well. I meant to talk about it earlier. I had an open spot in my notes, and I was trying to remember. I was like, there was something else that I wanted to bring up, and I couldn't remember what it was. The one thing that I wasn't a fan of, and this is me, I mentioned baseball purists earlier, is they played music the entire time you were in the stadium. While they were playing, like, it did not stop. Like, the players' walk-up music played for the entirety of their at-bat. And then it morphed into the next one. And then it did a little bit of that, and so on. And that, to me, made me feel like I wasn't at a baseball game. And I understand, the Savannah Bananas are not baseball. Also, I mentioned that baseball is one of those sports where you can sit really as far as you want. That's one that if I would do it again, I'd really try and get as close as I could to feel kind of in the action. Because we were in the lawn, so we were all the way in right field, so we were kind of far away from all of the action and so on. Would I do it again? Yes, if I could sit closer, but it's more of one of those things that I've done it, and I would, if I did it again, I'd want to learn all of the little rules a little bit more.
It's very Harlem Globetrottery, but the thing is for those who maybe don't like sitting through a long baseball game, it's perfect because it brings in
2 hours.
Because it brings in all of the extra stuff. You get baseball with all of the extra arcadey stuff. It'd be interesting to see them do kind of an MLB The Show thing and have it be like an exhibition mode where they did like some of the crazy like. I remember back. You're probably too young for this game. Well, maybe not. There was an MLB game that came out in the mid 2000s where you like could play baseball on like your kitchen table or like in the backyard and like
backyard baseball.
No, like you were in a field and like if you hit like the light, it would bounce off the light, and if you hit like different like everything in the living room,
I kind of have a memory of this.
Everything in the living room, everything on the kitchen table was in place. You could hit it off the cereal box or something like that. But I don't know. I always thought it'd be really, really cool to see some kind of game mode where they brought in kind of a Savannah the Banana arcade type deal with MLB The Show. I'm glad you were able to go.
Yeah, very last minute. I got the opportunity, and we can maybe talk about it a little bit more next week. I can take pull some of the pictures that I did because I legitimately just forgot all about doing it. And I'm sure Paul loves the Savannah Bananas, being a baseball purist. It is time for drivers. They finally make their return after.
Next week for us.
No drivers?
No, next week for Indy.
Oh,
we're off this weekend.
Oh, I still can't believe that I've had this clip playing for 65 weeks, and it finally played. I still cannot believe it. Miracles do happen. Okay. Drivers, where I have to tell whether this is an Indy, NASCAR, or ARCA.
Don't forget, I've got drivers too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm leading into that segment right now.
I know. IMSA just keeps going.
I'm ready.
Oh, I thought we were doing.
That's what I was leading into your segment right now.
I'm so sorry. I thought we were like doing like. I got really confused as to like what we were.
It's like you're like I've got drivers too. I'm like, yes, that's what I just went into.
So we're talking about Leroy. All right, Sam. We are also doing throwback. It is 1998. All of these drivers.
I was one.
What year were you born?
I was one.
Okay. All of these drivers were drivers.
Chase was not even born yet.
All of these drivers were drivers for their respective series in 1998. For what it's worth, I was 16.
I'm ready.
I'm trying to pull it up. Here's driver number 1.
Is that a young Tony Stewart? Yeah, that's a young Tony Stewart. But he was never an F1, but I think Tony Stewart dabbled in Indy, but I'm going to say NASCAR.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You are correct in that it is Tony Stewart.
He dabbled in Indy?
You are incorrect in that he was a NASCAR driver in 1998. He was the IndyCar driver in 1998.
I knew he dabbled in Indy.
Doesn't he look like he's 15?
Yeah, I knew it was Tony Stewart. I could tell that. The USAC series?
No, I think IRL. I think it was regular IRL.
I don't know who this guy is.
All right, this is driver number 2.
I'm going to say that's a NASCAR driver, John Deere. I wouldn't think John Deere would be an F1 company. So NASCAR, but I don't know who that is.
Final answer?
Yeah.
That is a NASCAR driver. His name is Chad Little.
Okay, that name doesn't. Oh, look at Chase.
Yeah,
Is
good
that
job,
Chad?
Chase. Good job, Chase. Absolutely. Yep.
You need to do a week where you get real obscure and Chase has to tell you the name.
Chase has to tell me the name. Okay.
Yes.
All
Because
right.
he could probably do it, because I obviously couldn't. F1. The hair. F1.
The hair.
F1.
The hair is what does it for you?
F1.
Because NASCAR drivers can't have good hair.
Yeah, F1. He's either
Yes,
F1 or Indy.
That's F1. It's Eddie Irvine. Eddie Irvine from Canada.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's not American.
Good job,
You can
Sam.
tell
2
just
out of
like
3
that.
today. That was good.
2.5.
Yes, I will give you a half a point for getting Tony
Two-
Stewart
two-
correct.
2.25. Yeah, because I at least knew his name. 2.25.
Chase gets like 3 though, because he guessed Chad Little. And let's be real here. That was the real accomplishment right there, because Chase wasn't even alive in 1998. And if you gave me a list of 1975 drivers, I don't know how many of those NASCAR drivers I could name.
Did they race Model Ts back then?
Shut up.
The NASCAR pick contest returns this week as they head to Richmond. We only have 3 weeks left in our pick contest. Richmond, Michigan, and Daytona are the only 3 weeks left. In first place, to remind yourself, is me with 653. Paul is 23 points behind with 630. Leroy, you're at 585. Chase is at 551. And then, I mean, there are others in the contest, but they're out. They're out. They're at Richmond this week.
Crazy,
this is where I wish
crazy, man.
Chad Little had a son named Jesse that raced in truck and some cup. He retired after last season and is a race director now for NASCAR.
Thank you for that. I love knowing those little tiny, very cool story.
They're at Richmond this week. Who are you going with? You are able to pick anyone. You're going with Kyle Larson.
Yes, sir.
That would now make it to where you cannot pick Kyle Larson next week.
Yep.
I'm going to pick Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin. And Paul, feel free to take Denny Hamlin too. I'm not sure if he's going to go back and watch this or just message us. Chase, if you have one as well, or I know we have another person watching. If you'd like to enter, there's 3 weeks left and you have to come up with 650 points.
Yes, but you can still finish ahead of a couple other people that are playing if you did well.
Bert has 17 points. He's coming in strong. 17 points. And that was only 1 week. So he had a good 1 week for picking Kyle Busch at Martinsville. So Chase, if you have a pick here to drop us in for this week. Do you have anything going on this weekend?
I have racetrack on Friday. And then a rare off weekend for me as far as work goes. And then next weekend, I will be in St. Louis on Friday and Saturday for the IndyCar race in St. Louis.
Parker Resloff.
Brand new driver. And I think
you said the IndyCar race is this weekend?
The IndyCar race is next weekend. Next weekend's the IndyCar race. So it's Friday the 16th, and then the practice and quali are on Friday, and then the race is Saturday evening. It's finally a night race. They've had afternoon races, and Sam, you and I both know what Southern Illinois and Kentucky are like in August. It is not cool by any stretch of the means. So it's nice to have a night race.
So you're not going to Chicago to watch the Bengals and the Bears playing the preseason that afternoon then on next Saturday?
I am not. I'll be watching on my tweaker and iFace.
He'll get 0 points because the car will blow up on the pace lap, but I'm here for the start and park.
Chase.
See, this week, so we have Cougar football scrimmage on Friday night. Okay, so this doesn't count for the pick contest, but the Cougs are playing 2 games. They play John Harden. Are they going to beat John Harden?
Okay. I see him beating John. Yeah, yes.
What about Hart County? You going to beat them?
No.
Okay, so you have them going 1-1. If I was picking, that would be probably the same picks I was, but also it's a scrimmage, so it's like Mick and I just picked in our show earlier on Jungle Juice. We made predictions for the Bengals preseason game on Saturday.
The orange and black game? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean, they play the Bucs, so it's at least a real game. And then on Saturday, it is a concert series that's happening And so Chase agrees with you, Leroy, that they'll win versus John Hart and they'll lose versus Hart. There is a concert series, and the high school is celebrating 50 years. So there's this big like planning thing that they've been doing, and it's like a ceremony celebration for the previous 50 years of the high school. They're doing like a trivia contest. And the thing is that if you win the trivia contest, and Chase, if you're not doing anything Saturday night, you might be pretty decent at these questions. We are not doing a full analysis on the soccer schedule.
No. I think I agree with Chase. I think we need a full.
The only way, if I do soccer analysis, Chase, you are doing play-by-play for one of the Lady Cougar games this year. And guess who's no longer interested in soccer analysis this week? But so we're doing that on Saturday, and then on Sunday, you probably know we've talked about Mr. Spirit, Mr. McGee, the guy with the big orange hat, the older gentleman. Yes. So he's in the hospital. Yes. He's gotten out of the hospital. He's now in a rehab hospital, and they're doing a surprise pep rally for him that afternoon. Yeah, that's what I thought. He'll pass. So we are streaming and doing stuff for that. So it is going to be a very, very busy weekend for us and so on. So we get to very much look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm going to end up missing, most likely I'm going to end up missing our purple gold game because I have to work the racetrack. I forgot that football starts in August. And so like I'm still scheduled to work the racetrack. And I have to work on Friday nights. I'm pretty sure I'm going to miss the purple gold game. But I told Tim, I was like, okay, I need you to get pictures of the offensive formations, the defensive formations, and get me a roster. So that's all I need. Everything, I'll take care of everything else. But
what are realistic expectations for the football season this year for the Tornadoes?
5-7, 5-7, 6-6. They're going to be a rough, 500. They're going to blow through their non-con.
Well, you can't give me too much because these are picks coming up.
You're going to blow through their non-con and struggle in the regular season.
The Cougs are fascinating. They could have a year like last year where they were really good. They could take a step back. They could be somewhere in the middle. Like, I really don't know what to read on them. And I'm very interested to see how they do in these scrimmages.
You don't got to be a dick to me.
No. Like in all seriousness, it's all about the offensive line. Like, they have a brand new offensive line.
Well,
and if the offensive line comes together, they have a chance to be just as good as they were. If the offensive line is not, then they might struggle. Now, they don't play a tough schedule, so it'll be interesting.
This is our largest senior class, I think, that we've had in quite a while.
See, Grayson County, that's Grayson County. 5.
Yeah. I think this is a pretty large senior class. I'm interested to see how much of a development they've had because of where they were last year to where they are now. I want to see those improvements. And again, I don't know.
So are we going to have each football coach on the pod?
We'll be able to get yours on. Mine will be like, you want to what? I'm going to be busy, Leroy.
I'd be interested if our football coach, like, I think he would. Chase, Coach Jones. I think he would.
If you said, hey, we'd like you to be on our podcast for 5 minutes, what would he say?
You streaming trivia night? Is that trivia night on Saturday at the high school? No, I'm. So Chase, it is Kahoot, is what they're doing on Saturday. Do you know what Kahoot is, Leroy?
No.
So for one, I've been sitting in these meetings and I've never felt older. That we're not streaming it, but they are. So Kahoot is what the kids. Yeah, see, Chase knows what Kahoot is. I'm sure your Bailey probably knows what Kahoot is, and I bet Alexis does.
Lexi definitely does.
So what happens is you put a QR code on the screen and they scan it.
Okay.
And it puts multiple choice questions on the board, and it has it up there. And on your screen, it has colors. And it'll be like blue, green, red, yellow.
Okay.
Or something on your screen. And the question will pop up on the screen. It'll be like one of the questions is, Chase, you're not going to be there. And listen, if somebody's watching, I don't even remember what the answer was. So it was like, how many books are in the Grayson County High School library? And it's like Yellow is 4,000, blue is 5,000, green is 6,000, purple is 7,000. And you have to click it. And if you get the correct answer, the quicker you get it, the more points you get.
Oh, yeah, we do that like Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden has that.
Oh, do they? We don't have an
You
Olive
get
Garden
points.
here in Litchfield.
The quicker you enter, the more points you get. Yeah.
So, but it was funny when they were bringing this up in our meeting. They're like, "Oh, we can do a Kahoot," and all of the older people were like, "What is Kahoot?" And even I'm thinking, I'm like, "Wait a second, is this technology? I don't know what it is." I'm like, "God," I'm like, "Is this the sign that I'm old?" So I'm having to sit at the laptop and run the Kahoot during, supposedly. I don't know. But Chase, I've gotten to know to Mr. Dennison. Chancellor Dennison is the guy who's been putting it together. He's a very nice fella. Very nice fella that he's been writing all the questions for it. No, this was a Chancellor Dennison idea. But the winner of the Kahoot, so there's 4 rounds. The winner gets a $50 gift card to the new steakhouse in town.
There you go.
And apparently, it's just, don't tell anyone, Leroy. It's just us.
It's us.
But
yeah.
but the last one, $100 gift card.
Oh, I think you need to get yourself in on that.
Except the issue is I can't win because I'm gonna have all of the answers in front of me. But
you got to be like how I do trivia. Okay, so yeah, all right. So let me ask you this. You're younger, and Chase is even younger than you are, correct?
Yes.
Do you know who's on the $20 bill?
Jackson?
What's his first name?
Andrew.
Okay. Chase, did you know that? Because young people don't really have a whole lot of cash.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chase got it. Okay. All right. Today, our Letter Mania, for those of you who don't know, we do a contest over the radio where we give 6 scrambled letters and we ask you to unscramble them. Unscramble them, call us, tell us what the word is. You get entered into a drawing for $97.30. Okay. And our average age of listeners is about 65 years old. And today's letters, the word was Andrew. And I said Jackson, Miller, Weber, Luck, and Johnson all share this same first name. The amount of people that said Warden.
Your parents are not old, Chase. Don't make me tag Kim Blaine in here calling your mom. Your mom is like 40. Okay.
Yes, the amount of people that said Warden. I'm like, no. Just tell me who's on the $20 bill. Oh, I don't know. And I just want to reach to the phone and be like, you are 65. Stop it.
If I'm being, so the $1 bill is Washington, right?
Yep.
$5 Lincoln, right?
Yep. 10.
Is that Jefferson?
Nope. Jefferson's on the 2.
I don't know that I could tell you who's on the 10.
Alexander Hamilton.
Okay.
Okay. Andrew Jackson's on the 20. Who's on the 50?
I have one sitting right there that I could reach over there. Well, I can't reach it, but 100 is Ben Franklin. I know that, right?
Yep. Who's on the 50?
If you gave me a multiple choice, I would be able to get it.
Okay. All right.
Look at this. Yeah. His dad is 48 and his mom is 46. That's pretty much your age, Leroy. Okay. How's that make you feel?
Is it Grant, McKinley, or Wilson?
I think Chase actually is right. It's Grant, isn't it?
It is U.S. Grant. Okay. Who, they don't make them anymore, but who was on the $500 bill?
That I don't know.
That was McKinley. And then there was a $100,000 bill that was transferred between like banks, and Woodrow Wilson was on that. So we were talking about currency today, but they don't make the 100,000 or the 500 anymore. But
not like I'd see it anyway.
I know. But yeah, I just found it fascinating that a bunch of 60-year-olds didn't know who was on the $20 bill. And I was like, you all carried money. I know you all carried money forever.
Well, I mean, it's just like, and I know we did this probably gosh, it's probably been 6 months ago. We did the "Are you smarter than a fifth grader?" questions.
Yeah.
But it's amazing on how many of them. Like here, I've just found a random website that has it. Okay. Let's just here's 10 questions and let's see how you do. Since you quizzed me, let's see how you do in these.
Okay.
That's an incorrect question here that I'm looking at. I'm like, that's it asks how many countries are in North America?
28.
And this is 3. Like, that is not right.
No, it's
That
28.
right.
We just had this conversation too at my work.
What is the interior angles of a triangle add up to what?
Uh, 130.
Chase is right. 180.
I was literally about to say, please don't ask any math questions. I will fail.
What
First
shape
question.
is
First question?
What shape is a stop sign?
Octagon.
Okay, you got that one. Who invented the light bulb?
Tesla, but I'll go with the correct answer of Thomas Edison.
Yes, you are right. How many sides is a hexagon?
6.
Okay. The energy of a moving object is called what?
Chase, that's all yours.
Closest planet to the sun?
Mercury.
Okay. What galaxy is Earth in?
Milky Way.
There you go. Kinetic energy is the correct answer, Chase. How many months in the calendar year have 28 days?
1.
Wrong.
12.
Ah,
12.
gotcha.
12.
Gotcha.
12.
Oh, got him. Is blue an adjective or a noun?
Blue?
Uh-huh.
Noun?
No, it's an adjective.
I feel like that's a trick question.
Oh, I'm liking this here. White and fluffy clouds that signify fair weather are called what? Can you name any type of cloud?
Yeah. Nimbus, stratonimbus, cirrus.
You haven't named the correct answer.
Shut up. Stratus, nimbus, cirrus.
There you go. Chase got it.
I took a meteorology cumulus. Damn it!
Cumulus.
I took a meteorology class in college.
How many letters are there?
26.
Okay. But see, I love these questions too, because it's amazing.
This is a stupid game.
But it's amazing on how many things. It's like the who's on the $20 bill of that you just forget. Oh, but this is not an "Are you smarter than a fifth grader?" question. What is the approximate diameter of the Earth in miles?
That's a horrible question.
Yeah, I was like, I would never know that. Who founded the Red Cross?
Oh, that's Susan B. Anthony, right?
Nope.
It was a woman.
It was. Her first name was Clara.
Thomas? No, Clara. Oh.
Barton. Barton. Name the oceans.
If how many states could you list right now? Could you list all 50?
Probably. If I had a map, I absolutely could, and okay. I could do all 50 state capitals without question. Yeah, dude, try me. Look, I'm looking straight at you. My screen is over here. You know this.
Wyoming,
Cheyenne,
New Hampshire.
That is Montpelier, right?
No.
No, that's Vermont. Montpelier is Vermont. Concord.
Yep. Nevada.
That one Supreme Court justice founded Carson City.
Red Cross.
Shut
up. I got it eventually.
Carson City.
Missouri.
Jefferson City,
California,
Sacramento,
Hawaii,
Honolulu,
Alabama.
Alibaba, and Montgomery. So I remember. The reason I know these is my third grade teacher.
Okay.
We would have to. She had these sayings for us to do it, and I remember the only one I remember was, "Did you know it snows a lot in Alaska?" And I remember whichever the Alabama one was something Alibaba climbed the mountain or something. So that's why every time I hear Alabama, I have to go Alibaba. Okay, you want? I mean, I'll keep going here.
Maryland,
Annapolis,
West Virginia,
Charleston,
Michigan,
Lansing,
Texas,
Austin,
New Mexico,
Santa Fe,
and North Dakota.
Bismarck.
Oh, good job.
What's South Dakota? Pierre.
Yeah.
I told you I'm a listen, these are
good.
So I just mixed up Vermont and New Hampshire.
Yep, that was it.
Mississippi. I think I'm right on this.
Jackson.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. So I'm a freaking animal. I'm an animal when it comes to but I wish I still had that sheet of. Well, I mean, is the capital of Kentucky pronounced Louisville or Louisville?
Depends on where you live.
Well, I mean, is the capital of Kentucky pronounced Louisville or Louisville?
It's not
What's the
pronounced
correct
either.
way?
It's not pronounced either. Capital
What's
of
it pronounced
Kentucky
then?
is Knoxville. I'm just kidding.
What is the capital of Kentucky?
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt. Yep. Okay. I was at a broadcasting conference when I was in college, and that a guy came up to me and did that, and I was like, "It's Louisville." He's like, "Well, actually, it's Frankfurt." I'm like, "Well, yes." I'm like, "But you like." He's like, "Do you say it Louisville?" It's like, "Oh," I'm like, "You're setting off a trigger for a Kentuckian." I think it's time for us to go well, Leroy.
Yeah,
it's
we've been talking for a while now.
Okay. Have a good night. See ya. We'll see you next week. Who knows what the week could bring. Have a good night.